All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. For the third consecutive year, the New York Rangers tallied at least 100 points during the regular season, while they also secured their second President's Trophy in the last 10 years. But after reaching the Eastern Conference Finals for the second time in the last 3 years, the Rangers were once again denied a trip to the Stanley Cup final, courtesy of a team from the Sunshine State. 2 years ago, it was the Tampa Bay Lightning. This time around, it was the Florida Panthers. Now, like the Rangers, the Panthers have been one of the Eastern Conference's top teams in recent years as they secured the President's Trophy themselves back in 2022 while advancing to the Stanley Cup final last year. And when these two behemoths clashed with the Eastern Conference Championship on the line, you knew that we were in store for a dandy on the ice. To me, the Panthers set the tone in this series in game number one as they went to Madison Square Garden and they shut out the Rangers 3-0. You look at the Panthers, they were and have been so tough to score on throughout the season. You look at their goalie, Sergei Bobrovsky, and what he has done. Arguably one of the best goalies in the game right now. You look at the Rangers. You think about what they were able to do or not do offensively in this series. Only once, okay, in the 6 games did New York score at least 3 goals. That came in their 5-4 overtime win in game number 3, which was also their last win of the season. Over the last 5 games, uh, the last 3 games of this series, the Panthers limited the Rangers to just 5 goals. Okay. Florida's defense has been on point throughout the season, and regardless of the sport, you got to have a defensive mindset. You got to be good defensively if you want to win a championship. So you look at it from the Rangers standpoint, it's like any other sport. The further that you advance in the postseason, the tougher that it gets. I mean, New York, they swept Washington in round number one. They won their first 7 games overall in the postseason, and it looked like they couldn't be denied. They had to go to game 6 to beat a very tough and darn good Carolina Panthers team, and Carolina was good. And then the Florida Panthers were even tougher. There's a reason why this team is in the Stanley Cup final for the second consecutive year. They are just that good. We saw arguably the two best goalies in the National Hockey League go at it in this series, and Sergei Bobrovsky and Igor Shesterkin. Shesterkin has been great all season long for the New York Rangers, but Bobrovsky was just a little bit better, and that's part of the reason why the Panthers are headed to the Stanley Cup final. So overall, it was a strong first year for Peter Laviolette as the Rangers head coach. It's one of those where, the second, like I said, the second time in the last 3 years that the Rangers have got to the conference final. Laviolette, clearly a veteran head coach that has had success in multiple stops along the way in the National Hockey League, and he's looking to win his second Stanley Cup. Hopefully, if you're the Rangers, it can come next year. You got a lot of the talent coming back on this team with the likes of Chris Kreider, Adam Fox, Mika Zibanejad, Vincent Trocek, and other key players that are under contract, and New York's going to have another go at it. The Eastern Conference is no joke. The Eastern Conference is legit, and you think about it. You got the Bruins, you got the Carolina Hurricanes, the Rangers are right in that mix. The Islanders and Devils are improving. The Red Wings are improving. Of course, the Panthers are right there. You still got the veteran Tampa Bay Lightning. You can never overlook the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the same thing goes even for the veteran Pittsburgh Penguins and Washington Capitals. So New York's going to be right in that mix. Of course, if you're a Rangers fan, you were hoping that it was going to be 30 years in the making. It looked like that once upon a time, the way that things were going for both the Rangers and the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. We saw the Knicks bow out in the NBA playoffs in the second round. And of course, unfortunately, the Rangers here in the conference final. But nonetheless, solid season for the Rangers. They're not going to take a lot of solace in that because clearly they felt like they had a team that was worthy to win the Stanley Cup. And in my opinion, I felt coming into this series, whoever won it, whether it was the Panthers or the Rangers, would win the Stanley Cup based off of the ability of their goalies. Like I said before, Bobrovsky and Shesterkin, arguably the two best in the game right now. Bobrovsky's team is advancing, and I really like Florida's chances. Whether they face Edmonton or Dallas, we'll have to wait and see. But nonetheless, the Rangers were appearing like they were a team of destiny. But Florida, they said, you know what? It ain't going down like that. The Panthers are legit. The Panthers are the real deal. And this is why they are taking home the Eastern Conference Championship for a second consecutive year. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.